What up, world? R.I.C.H coming right back at you. Let me tell you something right now. This story is crazy, it's disturbing, and it's a prime example of how a situation can spin out of control and leave everybody shaking their head. I'm talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, the golden girl of track and field, the sprinter who brought the swagger back to sprints, the same woman who fought her way through criticism, redemption, and redemption again. She's been on magazine covers, she's been the face of comeback stories, she's been celebrated as a voice of authenticity in women's sports. But this time, we ain't talking about the 100-meter dash. We ain't talking about gold medals or Olympic glory. We're talking about airport drama, real life drama, surveillance footage, body cam footage, public altercation, handcuffs, a 18-hour jail stay.
Have no problem with letting you know who I am, having put my hands on him. We had an argument. I will be honest about that, an argument, and that's pretty much it.
This right here is new body camera video of the moments before Olympic sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested at SeaTac Airport last month. You heard her tell police she did not touch her boyfriend, but airport security footage shows her shoving him multiple times before police arrived right here in this corner. Officers were called to TSA security after she pushed him in a packed terminal right outside security checkpoint 4. She was then booked into jail and then released the next day. This week, she addressed what happened on her social media.
More than anything, definitely a lot of self-reflection, a lot of understanding of not only putting myself in a compromised situation, but somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well is something that holding myself accountable.
Now let's call it like it is. The video don't lie. We saw her put her hands on Christian Coleman multiple times, shoving him, grabbing his backpack strap, slamming him into a pillar. This wasn't some bumping passing. This wasn't no simple verbal argument. This was a physical altercation in one of the most public places possible. The airport, cameras everywhere, security everywhere. When he went to the authorities to say, I need some assistance, she called him a coward right there on camera. Now let's hit pause for a second, because this is where it gets real. There's a long, painful history of men being abused by women, and nobody wants to talk about that. We're conditioned to think that if a woman hits a man, it's not that serious. We're conditioned to think he can handle it. But let me tell you something. Abuse is abuse. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, I don't care who you are or how strong you look, it's not okay. And yes, the stats back it up. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence says 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence. 1 in 9. Yet men are far less likely to report it. Why? Shame, fear, and a society that says man up instead of go get help. Now for Coleman, this was not just about physical contact. This was about public humiliation. This was about being called out, disrespected, and challenged right there in front of strangers. And here's what makes it even more complicated. Men who are abused often don't say anything about it. They suffer in silence. They laugh it off to their friends, or they stay because they think they have to. But Coleman did something different. He went to TSA. He went to the authorities. He didn't strike back. He didn't escalate it. He didn't give her the reaction she was trying to provoke out of him. And let me say this clearly, that took strength. That took discipline. That took a level of restraint that most people, man or woman, simply do not have. He could have lost his temper. He could have ended his career. He could have turned that airport into a crime scene, but he didn't. And I know some people are going to say, oh, he's a coward for not defending himself. Those people are wrong. 100% wrong. If he had laid one hand on her, we wouldn't even be talking about Sha'Carri right now. We'd be talking about Christian Coleman arrested for assault. His image done. His career over. And here's another layer that people are missing. This wasn't just about two people arguing. This was about power, control, dominance. When she called him a coward, it wasn't just an insult. It was an attempt to force him into a reaction. Now, let's talk about her apology. She went online talking about how she never runs from her demons. She's seeking counseling. But did you notice what she didn't say? She didn't say, I was wrong. She didn't say, I shouldn't have put my hands on that man. She didn't say, I'm sorry for what I did to that man. And to me, that's the problem. See, apologies without accountability are just words. Empty words. Words designed to save face, not words designed to fix the damage. If you're comfortable enough to shove somebody in front of a TSA officer, if you're comfortable enough to yell coward while authorities are standing right there, you've done this before. So I'm left wondering, what has happened behind closed doors? What other incidents have never been filmed? How long has this been going on? See, this is why we have to have a larger conversation about abuse. And yes, that includes women aggressors. This ain't about gender. It's about respect. boundaries, and safety. For men in this situation, you got options. Walk away, go get help, protect yourself legally and physically without crossing that line. For women in this situation, understand this. You do not have a pass to put your hands on a man just because he's a man. And if you think you do, then you part of the problem. Coleman did the right thing. He kept his composure. And in a world that constantly tries to bait men into losing it, he refused to take the bait. Now, I hope Sha'Carri gets the help she says she's seeking. I really hope she learns from this, because talent and fame don't excuse behavior like this. But for everybody watching, if you're in a relationship that looks like this, if you constantly being disrespected, if you constantly being provoked, leave. I know it's hard. I know there's love. I know there's history. But there's also peace. There's also safety. There's also a life you can have that does not involve this type of drama. And trust me, that's a race worth winning. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.